Yes, she wrote an article about someone that wasn't very nice. Now she knows that was a mistake.
Well, that sounds like a good lesson for her to learn.
We all make mistakes. I'm glad Mandy learned from hers.
That's right, Greg. We all learn from our mistakes. And you know, I'm glad that Mandy learned from hers. I'm also glad about all the things that I've learned from the mistakes that I've made.
What? Andrea? You make mistakes?
Very funny, Campbell. Of course, we all make mistakes. And that's okay. It's good to think about what you learn from your mistakes, not what you did wrong.
That's true. And yes, I make a lot of mistakes too.
I know.
Andrea?
Well, I'm just kidding, Campbell. In our conversation, Mia hangs up the phone and joins Jeff, Greg, and Liz at the dinner table.
Mia tells them that Mandy really needed to talk.
Mia says our calendar phrase, sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Now you can say this when you feel bad about something that has happened. I lost my wallet on the weekend.
Sorry about that.
Or you can say, sorry about that. I didn't mean to be late. We also found the answer to today's mission in our conversation. What did Mandy really need to talk about?
What did Mandy really need to talk about? She needed to talk about the article she wrote about someone that wasn't very nice.
Yes, the article that she wrote about Trina. Well, I'm glad that Mandy still has Mia as a good friend to talk to, even though she's in Portland. Now let's learn more about this conversation from Thomas.
Key words.
All right, everyone, let's review today's key words together. Our first key word is come out. Come out. When does that book come out? I want to read it.
Trust. Trust. I trust Andrea. I know she'll do what she says she'll do.
Oh, yes, Campbell, I will. Our next key word is apologize. Apologize. I was wrong. I apologize.
Make up for something. Make up for something. I'm sorry I hurt you. How can I make up for it? Okay, let's say these one more time. Come out. Come out.
Trust. Trust.
Apologize. Apologize.
Make up for something. Make up for something. Well, thank you for saying those with us. Now let's review today's conversations.
Wow, Mandy. So what did your advisor say about the article?
Well, he didn't even read the article until it came out in the paper. Then he wasn't very happy that I was so honest.
Why didn't he read it sooner?
Well, he really trusts Caitlin, the editor.
So was your article the truth?
Yes. But the things I wrote about Trina weren't very kind.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I guess I need to apologize to Trina.
Good idea.
Yeah, I really feel bad now about the things I wrote, even if it was the truth.
I understand. Hey, will you write the article about the play itself?
Maybe. I'll ask Caitlin.
You never know. Trina might do a good job.
True. Then maybe I could make up for what I wrote this time.
Good thinking. Sorry about that, everyone. Mandy really needed to talk.
Is she okay?
Yes, she wrote an article about someone that wasn't very nice. Now she knows that was a mistake.
Well, that sounds like a good lesson for her to learn.
We all make mistakes. I'm glad Mandy learned from hers.
Word power.
It's time for Word Power. Teach you words about a newspaper. Ah, he likes to eat breakfast in the morning. Yum. Do you like to read the newspaper when you eat breakfast? The first page of the newspaper is the front page. Front page. You can learn about news in other countries on the World News page. World News. World News. Don't miss the sports page. Read about sports in the sports section. Sports. Sports. The headline is the title of the news article. Headline. Headline. Ha! This comic strip is so funny. Comics. Comics. So, are you looking for a job? You can find out about jobs in the want ads. Want ads. Want ads. Reading an English newspaper is a good way to practice English. Remember these words next time you're reading a newspaper. Then you'll have word power.
Calendar phrase.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
很抱歉.
You ate the last piece of cake.
Sorry about that.
But I was saving that piece for myself.
Sorry about that.
I've been looking forward to that cake all day.
Sorry about that. Here, you can have my cheese sandwich.
But I don't like cheese.
Sorry about that. I'll eat it myself then.
Huh?
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
很抱歉.
It's time to practice today's question of the day. Have you ever made a mistake? Tell about it.
I've never made a mistake in my life. Just kidding. Of course I've made mistakes. One mistake I made was not listening to my parents when they tried to teach me Chinese. When I was little, my parents would try to teach me Chinese and I didn't want to learn. Now my Chinese isn't as good as it could have been.
But Campbell, your Chinese is getting better and better.
Yes, but I think it would have been easier to learn Chinese as a child.
I understand. Well, thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk in English.
On PTS and the radio.
And remember, learning English can be fun.
Bye.
Begun. Let's talk in English. Learning together can be fun.
Oh, hi everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk in English on PTS and the radio. I'm Campbell.
And I'm Andrea. So Campbell, what's another one of the greatest mistakes of all time?
Well, you know the story of Cinderella, right? 灰姑娘.
Oh, yes, Cinderella. I love this story. Cinderella goes to a dance to meet her prince, but she has to leave early. And as she's leaving, she loses one of her glass shoes.
That's right, a glass shoe, 玻璃鞋. But did you know that in the first Cinderella story, her shoe was really made out of fur, 动物皮.
What? Her shoe was made out of fur? Well, how did the shoe become glass?
Well, in 1697, a writer from France, 法国, made a mistake. Was writing down the story of Cinderella. An old French word for sounds like the French word for glass. So he wrote down the wrong word.
Oh, so he for glass instead of the word for fur. Well, you know, I'm glad he made that mistake. A glass shoe is much more beautiful than a fur shoe.
That's true. All right, everyone, here's today's mission. What mistake did Liz almost make in college?
What mistake did Liz almost make in college? Well, listen for that answer. Here's Conversation A.
Jeff, do you remember that editorial I wrote in college?
Oh, yes.
What happened?
We thought one of our professors was unfair to women students.
So I wrote an angry editorial about him for our college newspaper. Of course, now I know I should have talked to him.
Well, you learned from that mistake.
True. I learned the same lesson Mandy did.
You know, that's important. When we make mistakes, it's important to learn from them. When we learn from our mistakes, we won't make them again.
Yes, mistakes are never fun, but if we can learn from them, we become better people.
In our conversation, we heard about a mistake that Mia made. She wrote an editorial about one of her professors.
What's an editorial? Well, in an editorial, a person writes their thoughts and feelings about something.
Mia's editorial was about one of her professors. Now let's learn this key word, professor. Professor. A professor is a very important teacher at a college or university. Professors usually know a lot about the subjects they teach.
Yes, a professor. Someone who studied for many years to teach students at college or university.
In college, Jeff and Mia had one professor who they thought was unfair to women students.
Now let's learn that keyword.
Unfair. Unfair. Someone who is unfair doesn't treat all people in the same way.
Yeah, if someone's unfair, they treat different people in different ways.
Right, they might treat certain people better than other people. For example, in our conversation, Jeff spoke about a professor who was unfair to women students. This means that he treated women students differently than the way he treated men students. He didn't treat them equally.
Yeah, now you might sometimes feel like your parents are unfair. Maybe they treat your brother or your sister differently than they treat you.
What would you do if you felt like someone was being unfair? Well, Mia wrote an editorial about it, but she learned that she shouldn't have done that. She learned that she should have talked to her professor first. All right, everyone, let's learn some more from Thomas.
I almost made a big mistake in college, too.
What was it?
I almost married another guy.
Instead of Greg?
That's right. I was dating Greg, but then Mitch Ellis, he was very cute, said he liked me. I wanted to date him.
But Mitch wasn't a nice guy.
No, he lied to me about a lot of things. I can't believe I trusted him.
Well, live and learn.
And you married Greg, not Mitch, so I guess you learned from that experience.
Yes, Liz definitely learned from that experience. Well, I'm glad she married Greg and not Mitch.
Yeah, I can't believe she almost married another guy.
Hey, that's the answer to today's mission. What mistake did Liz almost make in college?
What mistake did Liz almost make in college? Liz almost married another guy.
Yeah, Liz was dating Greg, but Mitch